What would happen if an asteroid were to collide with the Earth? Inevitably, a devastating catastrophe would occur. However, one could say that humanity is already at the brink of facing a natural disaster. Super typhoons, floods, and desertification. They're imminent disasters caused by climate changes that our humanity must face and impending problems that we must solve. The fine dust and yellow dust that causes huge respirational problems every spring in Korea are all due to the effects of desertification. Therefore, the issue of desertification got my attention, especially with my chronic health issues of atopy and rhinitis, from which I have been suffering ever since I was young. According to the UN, the size of the land which has been desertified over the course of 20 years since 1980s is 3,486 square kilometers. What's more scary is that 2/3 of Africa, 1/3 of Asia, and 1/5 of South America will become desert by 2025, and subsequently, 1.5 million people would lose their livelihood. Why did such environmental disasters befall on this beautiful green planet? Are there any solutions for global desertification? When I searched on the internet, there was a considerable amount of organizations and people actively trying to come up with the solutions for desertification crisis. Among those, one organization working to prevent Mongolia's desertification caught my attention. Until then, the country Mongolia gave me an image of lush grasslands with horses. The fact that Mongolia is actually going through desertification was a shock to me. With a curiosity wondering about desertification and situation in Mongolia, I decided to visit the organization. Green Asia has been awarded with the Land for Life Award, which is an equivalent to a Nobel Prize in the fields of environment. Until now, it planted over 500,000 trees while helping over 2,500 native people to be able to sustain their lives independently, becoming the first NGO in South Korea to be nominated for an international environmental award. Greeting me with a warm welcome, the Secretary General went over problems that I hadn't even thought of. Especially, his words that humans are at the center of the desertification problem touched my heart. Even if we plant trees and make forests to prevent desertification, if there wasn't anyone to take care of it, do you think we can solve the problem soon? Thus, the priority is to change people's attitudes and perspective on what they can do for desertification. I wanted to go in the midst of the problem and fully experience the extent of the issue at hand. Mongolia. As it is a mysterious land to me, I was eager to go, but as I stepped onto the plane, I began to have some worries. I couldn't speak the language, nor have I done any sort of hard work. Would I be able to do a good job? What would Mongolia be like? After 3 hours of plane ride, I arrived at the Genghis Khan Airport, situated in Ulaanbaatar, the capital city of Mongolia. Even though I heard that the desertification of Mongolia was severe, I still expected to see vast grasslands. Contrary to my expectations, Mongolia welcomed me with desolate lands and musty smell. Mongolia's rate of desertification is 3 times that of other countries. Over the past 70 years, the percentage of deserts in Mongolia has skyrocketed from 46% to 78%. The term land of grass seems out of date. In the process of desertification, hundreds of lakes and rivers dried up, and over 75% of native plants were gone extinct. Why did this happen? Well, experts speculate that it's the result made by not only global warming and climate change, but also extensive pasturing, lumbering, and mine development caused by the greed of people. Furthermore, out of the 30 million inhabitants, over 3 million have been classified as environmental refugees. Now, desertification in Mongolia cannot be viewed as a mere environmental issue, but a threat to the livelihood of the citizens. First, I headed straight to the Zaizan Memorial, the place everyone must visit in Mongolia. It's always crowded because Ulaanbaatar can be looked down in a glance. However, what started out as expectations changed to devastation in the end. What first caught my eyes was a ring of white mist along the mountains. Ulaanbaatar is a foothill, which means an area surrounded by mountains. Nevertheless, I couldn't have a clear view of the mountains because of the white mist. At first, I thought it was some sort of a fog, but when I looked around, I realized that it's the smoke coming from the power stations and yurts. The musty smell I sensed when I first arrived at the airport and the white mist covering the entire city were made of sooty smokes from factories. Underneath the thick smokes lived thousands of refugees in Gare villages, most of whom blindly came to Ulaanbaatar seeking a better life. Ulaanbaatar was originally built to accommodate 4 million people. Unfortunately, desertification forced 10% of Mongolian population off their home to form refugees at Ulaanbaatar, resulting in around 15 million people to live in the capital. That means that more than half of Mongolia's population resides just in Ulaanbaatar. As a result, Ulaanbaatar now has the second most severe air pollution in the world, and the water level of Tuul River is constantly dropping. If the Tuul River was to dry up as well, that would be a catastrophe. Desertification not only wrecks the land, but also brings a new disaster that affects the very people on that land. Even though it was only autumn, Mongolia was very cold, with the temperatures just above 6 degrees Fahrenheit. To see more about this land, I woke up early in the morning and headed to Dondugobi, 275 kilometers south of Ulaanbaatar. Desolate wilderness going through desertification was spread ahead of me on my way to Dondugobi. The term Gobi here means desert. Because of this fact, desertification in this area was exceptionally fast. Green Asia decided to plant trees in this area. Currently, the number of trees planted is 50,000, with the number still rising.
현지 분들하고도 그 사연들도 들어보고 직접 먹는 그런 거 음식 만드는 것도 체험해봤다. 지금은 겨울이라 나무를 심는다는 것보다는 나무를 심기 위한 구덩이를 파는 것이고, 그리고 되게 울타리 같은 거 같아요.
네, 되게 좀 흡하고 쿨하고 되게
엄마가 오면 울란바토르에서 270km 떨어지는 곳이고,
네.
여기 있는 사람들이 되게 순수하고 이제 이마가 되게 좋아하는 사람이에요.
아,
그 마떡음이라고 말머리가 있고
네.
연주하는 거야.
아, 네네.
기거로 이제 이거만 연주하고 노래를 부르는 그런 걸 좋아하는 사람이에요.
Annually, Dondugobi used to have over 280 millimeters of rain. However, according to a research conducted last year, it's been dropped from 180 to 130 millimeters. It's one of the major factors which accelerates desertification in Mongolia. That was why I could see dried up streams here and there as I walked around. When I arrived at Dondugobi, I first visited the yurt of Mr. Eridenbilek, the guardian of the trees planted through the forestation project. Originally a nomad, he became an environmental refugee and lost everything when the Jod hit in 2010. Jod is an abnormal weather condition with the North Pole's cold air moving to the south due to global warming. The cold wave, with temperatures ranging from -40 degrees to 58 degrees, was a debacle that is known notoriously to have frozen animals in a standing position.
추울 때도 있고 너무 더울 때도 있고 힘든 점들이 많으실 텐데도 일자리를 계속 갖고 사막화 방지가 정말로 이렇게 실현이 되고 있구나, 이렇게 유목민 분들이 이제 그 가축들을 잃으시고 환경 난민이 되셨지만 다시 이런 살림 터지를 갖는다는 거에서 정말 다행이다라는 생각이 들었어요, 솔직히.
As the rate of desertification in Mongolia is uncontrollably rising, numerous environmental NGOs from all over the world came over to plant trees. Nevertheless, almost all of those trees died out naturally or were eaten by animals. After many trials and errors gone through, Green Asia found out that planting trees could only be successful with the inhabitants' participation. Eco Village's motto has been acclaimed by many as being the most successful. It was due to the principle that success is possible only when the citizens work together and plant trees to stop desertification as a part of their independent lives.
마을이 계속 지속될 수 있도록 주변을 이제 둘러싸는 그 방풍림을 조성을 하고 있고요. 바람이 들지 않는 지역이 발생하는데 그곳에다가 유실수를 식재해서 주민들의 소득원으로 유실수 단지를 조성하고 있는 상황입니다. 나무보다는 그것을 가꾸고 함께 하고 있는 사람에 더 집중을 하고 있다 보니까 사람을 심고 세우고 그들이 결국은 오염된 그리고 사막화된 그 지역을 다시 푸르른 그 옛 모습으로 환원시킬 수 있는 그 일.
The idea of focusing on and caring for people rather than the trees gave me another willpower. I buckled down to visit the field where afforestation was taking place. As if to break my will, the intense wind and coldness were suffocating me. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like when the temperature dropped to -40 degrees in winter. The weather had already worn me down in such a short time. I got more worries about the natives and Green Asia workers who worked on this barren land, especially during winter season.
점점 추워지고 있어요. 겨울은 여기서 어떻게 날지 진짜 되게 현지인들이라 괜찮으실까요? 아닐 것 같은데.
Due to the unexpected and brutal weather, I was already exhausted, but I tried not to lose the smile on my face. The reason why is that I believe having a smile at least keeps me running. I became solemn as I thought of the citizens working hard to sustain their lives. After looking and hearing so much about the volunteer work, I decided that I had to try it out. Unfortunately, because of the weather conditions, they weren't planting trees at the moment, but on the upper side, they were still digging holes to plant trees for the next year. The process is done by two people. One person digging the hole with an equipment called rum, while the other person digging out the dirt to make a hole about 60 centimeters deep. Surprisingly, it only takes about 15 minutes for workers here to dig a hole. For me though, it took about an hour. Digging into a ground that was as hard as solid rock was not an easy job. Even though the strong winds and harsh environment hindered me, I tried my best to finish the job so that I could be a help, even a tiny amount.
현지 분들과 여기 봉사 나오신 분들하고 어떻게 하는지 모르겠어요.
Building a fence around the afforestation area is a vital process that must be done, because otherwise, livestock would eat up the sapling. Creating columns and wrapping wire netting around them were just as hard as digging holes in the frigid ground. However, two facts kept me working. 1. The area would be home to new saplings. And 2. It's the first step to have more greener fields in the future. The maximum number of holes 2 adults can dig in a day is about 10. Think about it. Wouldn't it be much easier with a single crane? The secretary replied that afforestation wasn't all about planting trees. If the mindset of local I had been to a temporary yurt earlier, but this was my first time being in a proper yurt or carry Mongolia, so I was really excited. Looking at it from the outside, it was nothing more than a big tent, but when I got inside, it was equipped with everything necessary. I helped prepare a traditional Mongolian food called hoshoru. In Mongolia, just like that, the final night in Mongolia was coming to an end.
또 실제로 그 사막화되고 기후변화가 일어난 현지에 가서 자신이 체험을 하고 무엇을 해야 될 것인지 고민하는 이것은 그 향후 미래의 그 우리 문제를 푸는데 대단히 중요한 출발이라고 저는 생각합니다. 작은 일일지도 모르겠지만 어쩌면 인류 전체에게는 대단히 큰 어떤 그 진전 이런 것들을 만들어낼 수 있다고 생각합니다.
The trip to Mongolia started off with my interest towards global warming and desertification. From what was once known as the land of grasslands and blue sky, barren lands and countless refugees are the remains of Mongolia. What they lost is not just merely their land, but their lives. A huge asteroid called climate change is about to collide with the Earth, but humanity is ignoring such an impending threat for money. The people I've met are planting trees in desolate conditions. The way they dig out the frozen land and plant trees looks like they're struggling for sustaining their lives. Just like that, they're planting hope with their own hands.